Today we have Monie, who is a senior executive for a private aviation company.
That's right.
Monie, thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna start with the hard question first, because on this show we get right to the point, no beating around the bush. Tell us, what does a private aviation company do?
So, in a private aviation company, we deal with the top 10 percenters in the entire world. So, I like to explain it like, for example, just like how some people own their own cars, you're dealing with high class celebrities, billionaires, diplomats who own their own aircraft. So, they don't travel on a 747, they travel on their own private jets.
Okay, so you're rolling with the big guys.
Ah, yeah.
In a sense. Okay, great. So a job like this, Moni, could you tell us the route you took to get to this position? What was your starting point? And how much years of experience do you need to get to this point?
So the great thing with aviation is you do not need a lot of experience, right? They would normally hire you if you don't have experience. For example, in the commercial role, some companies in the private role would hire you, but it's very hard getting in because it's a different type of clientele from the commercial to the private aviation aspect. Um, I always tell people you just got to start from the bottom and network. You never know who you're talking to. Commercial is literally like the world. It's a circle. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're going to run into. You just don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. I've been in this field since 2006, many years. So that's like over 19 years. I've been in aviation. I started from the bottom and I worked my way to the top. So I
And where
did.
would you consider the bottom?
So the bottom could start off as like a baggage carrier. It could start off as a wheelchair assistant. For me, I started off as a baggage carrier,
Okay,
and I felt like my goal was just to get my foot in the door. And once I got my foot in the door, it was game on from there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
My other thing is there any certifications you think that would help persons who may not want to start at the bottom, may want to start like at the medium range, somewhere around senior management level or medium management, I should say, to get to this level? Do you think there are certifications or educational channels that may help?
Absolutely, they are. The only difference is the aviation world, going to school, depending on what field you want to get into, because there are many fields in the aviation world. You have mechanics, you have dispatch, you have below wing, above wing. It all depends, right? The higher you want to go, you're basically going to be going to school, and it costs you more than a doctor. It costs a lot. So this is the reason why when we even had the pandemic, airlines were recruiting pilots and paying them up to $100,000 because they know what comes with it. There's a lot of colleges. I always recommend people start with like a dispatch. It's called aircraft operation dispatch. You start with that. That's going to run you at least 4,500, probably for one session. Um, if you want to get into flight attendant, there are certain companies like United and American that put you on a 1 month project. It's a school. You have to get at least 80% and higher before you could pass these. You pass the exam to get your wings. But if you want to come into the private aviation world, it's $10,000 a class to get into that field, which is more money than the commercial. So there are classes out here that and colleges that you could pay to advance if you don't want to start below.
That is very valuable information because
Yeah.
all of that I had no idea. You look at it, you see people with their wings, you travel, you have no idea how or what's needed to get to those career choices. Um, what is a common day in your profession like from starting to the end?
A common day, we don't have a common day. We literally just go with the flow. So aviation is like you if you're a person who likes working as a team, who likes a fast-paced environment, this is the field for you. I don't know. Like, I know exactly what time I need to show up for work. There's never a guarantee time when I'm leaving work. So I could be waiting on a flight for 2 o'clock. The flight don't comes until 4 o'clock. I have to wait. So I like to give the breakdown because when I majority of my background came from the commercial. The commercial world, the plane doesn't wait for you. You know what time you need to be at the gate. You know what time boarding starts. You know what time you're supposed to be landing at your destination, right? In the private world, is the difference. The plane waits for you because it's your plane, right? So I don't have a scheduled day because my schedule always change. I go from working 4 hours a day to 14 hours a day to working 14 days straight to 3 days. So it all varies.
So you're saying that this job would be perfect for somebody who does not like normalcy, like they
Right,
like spontaneity, changes,
right.
excite, all of that thing. They have a crave for adrenaline rush. Then this would be a perfect job for
It,
somebody
it
like
it
that.
absolutely it absolutely is. If you go and train to become a flight attendant, or even a pilot, they normally ask you, I think it's like 3 to 4 questions. They ask everyone: do you have kids? Are you married? Do you have pets? Are you a homebody? Look, these are questions that's going to let you know from the gate if this field is for you or not. There's some people who don't like working as a team. This is not the place for you. There's some people who only want to work these type of days. This is not the field for you. Like, if you're not accustomed to changes last minute, it's not gonna work.
That's good to know. That's very good to know because a lot of people will be going into a profession thinking, oh, this is a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and then getting in and realizing like this is a whole different world. So that's very
Yeah,
good information to find out because I've seen persons juggle two jobs, being an air hostess and being in another job. And I always wonder like how, but now you explain it, I'm seeing in the diversity of it all.
yeah.
Um, One of the most need to know questions is salary range.
Mhm.
Is it a lucrative profession? Does it come with bonus? What are the beneficial factors to?
It depends on the company. And this is why it's very important to do your research before you just automatically state, you know what? Yes, I want to work for United or I want to work for Spirit because one might be offering you more than the other, right? Um, I was a flight attendant for over 8 years. I made money, but you make a lot of money when you travel internationally, right? If you're flying from here to Miami, you're not really making any money. Flight attendants get paid when that aircraft doors close and when it opens, right? So someone who is now coming in fresh, you're probably going to be making probably like 18, $19 an hour. You might not have a set schedule because you're at the bottom and it goes by seniority. You are given choices and options to pick shifts up. It all depends on what position you've worked in. I've worked in, I think, almost every position they had in the aviation field. So it all depends. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, my other question is, does it comes with like health insurance, 401k, stuff like that, or being that it's private, you have to gather those externally?
So they all come with health, um, insurance, 401k. From my experience, majority of the companies I've worked for, I did had all of these options. Now, goes back to what I was saying before. Now, if I'm only making $7 an hour, I don't care about a 401. I don't care about, because these are money that's coming out of my check, right? So a lot of people don't take it. So in the private aviation field, that's where I started to understand more of how important these things are. Not, don't get me wrong, I did have the health insurance stuff, but I got a brighter aspect of how important these stuff was. Like, you have a 401k and the company's matching 6%. That's
You
pretty
started
good.
doing the math and seeing
Right,
what it was.
right.
Hmm.
Then you have HSA, which is a health savings account, where the company matches six, automatically started $600. You could finish it off. So
Hmm.
there were like a lot. You get paid more, so it's more affordable for you to say, yeah, I want to do this. I want to opt in for this. I want to opt in for that. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Because making $10 and having to give away eight is
yeah.
not a good choice rather than making 18 and have to give away 10. So I
Especially if you
definitely
have
understand the
family.
concept. Exactly.
Yeah.
My other question is, if there was one thing you could change about your job, what would that be?
Um. um. I don't. I want. I would say I really don't have something I would probably change, because this world, compared to commercial, I have more flexibility. I have more support. I have more areas to grow. Um, I mean, to think, I feel almost all the fields that I've worked in, because I've not only worked in commercial, I've worked in banking as well and the hospital. I just feel, being African American, sometimes we have to work harder.
Hmm.
So it would be nice not to work as hard as I work, or other African American work, just to get some type of recognition. So yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. You're getting your incentives based on your work skills.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, the other thing that I always wonder with certain professions is, if you were supposed to go back and tell your younger self, because like you said, you've worked in bank and you've worked in the hospital.
Hmm.
If you were supposed to go back and tell your younger self, would you have started initially in this career that you're in now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Aviation is the world. Once you start in it, you could leave 50 times, you're going to come right back. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people assume I have a degree in this field. I really don't. I have a fashion management and marketing degree. Okay. I have never used that degree at all. So if I had to choose again, I would be going to school for this world. It's more money.
Everything.
Not only is it more money, it's long term. Like, this is a field that will never go out of business at all,
Absolutely.
right?
You're
I
definitely correct.
So it's like, I COVID opened my eyes now, where it's smart to get a career where, even if a pandemic happened, I'm still securing the bag.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Moni, you shared some great points with us. A lot of people will be gathering a lot of information. Those who wish to go into aviation, um, air hostess, baggage claim, any department within aviation, you have provided some really good information. Even regarding pay scale, you stated that starting probably at 19 at
Yeah.
the lowest level, and you're currently as senior director, so you guys can see the growth.
Right.
As she said, there's room for growth. Air aviation is worldwide. It's everywhere. A flight goes to every single place in the world every single day. So, Moni, I just want to thank you for coming
You're
on
welcome.
and sharing your career and your profession. Because I
Yeah.
keep telling people there's a difference between a career and there's a difference between a
That's
profession.
Yeah.
A profession is something that you have great attributes and connections and you love what you do. A career
Yeah.
is anything, it's any job that you get paid to do. So I want to thank you for coming on and explaining to us all that you do with your 19 years and encouraging people that this has area to grow, because if you didn't like this job, you would not stay for 19 years. So that shows how much of diversity and growth is in that profession. And I just want to thank you for coming on and
You're
doing this.
welcome. And like I said, I did other jobs, but I'm not an office type of girl. I'm not a just sitting at a desk. Like, I like meeting people. I like meeting different personalities. I like customer service.
That's awesome.
So that's I think that's why I've stuck in this field for so many years. So yeah.
And one other question to just tie everything together. Are you interested in mentoring? Like for persons who are interested in aviation, who are seriously interested in aviation, is that something that you would be open to?
So full transparency, I've right now I have 5 people. I was just mentoring 20 people, and all 18 out of the 20, 18 of them landed and secured jobs with Delta, because Delta Airlines just had a opening for flight attendant. They all landed it. I'm not a guru, let me just say that. So I've made people, I'm in these groups on Facebook where there's some people who want the knowledge. For example, how to ace an interview. Is my resume updated? Can I go to interview with green nails and they take me serious, or pink haired? So it's like you're guiding them. And then I've met people who meet all of these qualities, but they can't even afford a black suit to show up for the interview. So I try to assist the younger generation as much as I can. So yeah, I feel like if people need knowledge or assistance somewhere, somehow, I'm open. I'm open to help them. Yeah.
Thank you for that. It's good. Mentoring is always good and it's always fundamental for the new generation. So I want to thank you for offering that to persons who really need it, because
You're
we
welcome.
all have been mentored and sharing that to others is always a good thing. So, Moni, thank you. Have a
You're
wonderful
welcome. Thank you, honey. All right, bye. Good luck. Bye.
Thank you. All right. So it stopped recording now.